Aloha! This is the Excel tutorial video on Spreadsheet Smart. We're going to teach you about 3 labor-saving Excel functions. The article was published in Journal of Accountancy in January 2007, written by Justin D. Stein. My name is Shinpei Yamashita, and
my name is Paige Bischoff.
We are students of the Brigham Young University, Hawaii.
So the 3 labor-saving tools we're going to teach you today is number 1, conditional formatting, 2, subtotals, and we'll teach you the subtotal function, which is the formula written right here, and we'll teach you the autofilter, which is similar to pivot tables but a lot simpler.
The first function we are going to learn is conditional formatting. Okay. This function alerts us by changing its cell color or cell formatting when numbers or figure in the cell doesn't match to the condition we created or reset on the cells. Okay. I created a balance sheet, fictional company's balance sheet, and I want to set conditional formatting on the C15, which is total assets and total liabilities and owner's equity. Okay, in order to do so, click total. Okay, in order to do so, click total assets and Control Shift and click total liabilities and owner's equity. Okay, and then go to the home ribbon. Under the home ribbon, conditional formatting, click right there, and this is in this place you can create the many rules out. Okay, for example, for greater than, it means if numbers are greater than certain numbers, certain values, this function let us know by changing its cell formatting. Okay, this one is the number or figure is less than certain value. Okay, so there are so many rules right here, right there. Okay, in order to create a new rules, you can click either one, or for this purpose I'm gonna click new rules, and I'm gonna use the very bottom one, use a formula to determine which cells to format. Okay, click right here, and I'm gonna set the rules right in this box. When cell C15, which is total asset, is greater than, smaller than or greater than, okay, total liabilities and owner's equity, which means the total asset have to be exactly equal to the total liabilities and owner's equity. Okay, please let me know by filling these cells with red color. Okay. And click OK. And what's gonna happen if I change these numbers? Okay, it works since those numbers doesn't match each other. Then you can manage the rules right there. Manage rules. Okay, sorry, I have to click. Okay, this is the rules that I created. If you want to delete these rules, you can delete, click delete, or you can add new rules on this same cell. You can create as many as 3 different conditions on the one cell. Okay, this is great tool. Okay, let's move on. Next, we are going to learn subtotal.
So now I'm going to teach you about the subtotal function in Excel. This is really easy. Instead of typing up all your numbers and adding them all together and dividing them by however many numbers you have to get your average, you can use a really easy to use the subtotal function. So you're going to hit equals, type in subtotal, parenthesis, you're going to hit enter for average one. You could do count, which is count how many numbers, max, the highest number in all your products or numbers that you have. Min, the lowest number. There's tons you can use. It never ends. So we're going to do average today for our assets. We want to know the average of all of our assets. So we're going to click on average, and then we're going to hit comma. We're just going to highlight all of our assets and do close parentheses and press enter. So we learned from the subtotal function that we have an average assets of 247,500. So now if we wanted to know the max number, say if we had a huge list of different assets, we would just do the equal subtotal parenthesis. We could go down to max. My bad. Max, which is down here, just double click on it, and then do comma, and we'll highlight all of our assets and do close parenthesis. And so we see that our highest asset is our inventory from the max, from highlighting the max. And we'll do one more for the min. So same thing, you do equal subtotal parenthesis. We'll go down to min, which is the minimum number. Double click on it, comma, highlight all your numbers, and we will see that our minimum asset is our cash. So we don't have as much cash as we do have accounts receivable and inventory. And that is the subtotal function. So another thing to take note on is on the subtotal note is if you subtotal an amount like this is subtotaled, subtotaling and summing your numbers is completely different. So if we go here, I'm just going to copy all these numbers over, and you see that these are subtotaled. So if we summed these, we get the same number, but the number down here changes because with this number, it summed it subtotals, it adds everything. We highlight, so sorry, I'll just show you. We do subtotal, and then add, or sum, and just summed all of these, we'd get the right answer because it knows you already subtotaled this number from these numbers, so it'll take that into account. But if we just sum all of these numbers, it doesn't know the difference. It'll add this number and the numbers that you've already added to make up this number. So it's really important that you make sure when you're using the subtotal function not to treat it the same as sum if you're doing adding or other functions. Alright, so the last thing we're going to learn about today is the auto filter. And this is extremely similar to a pivot table, but way easier. So if you go from your home ribbon to your data ribbon at the top up here and click filter, you need your mouse needs to be on one of the cells in the table, and then you hit filter, and you see all these down keys come up in each of your cells, in each of your total cells at the top, so it can tell you what it's using for. So this is very similar. Say we want just to see our desktops. We can go down here to, we'll unselect everything and we'll just go to desktops. All we want to see is desktops. It'll limit everything to just desktops. Say if we want to see desktops in the East region, we'll go up to the region down key, select all, so it'll unselect everything, and we'll click East and press OK. So now we're able to see just desktops in the East section.
I'm going to continue on the auto filter. So I'm gonna show you another example. Okay. I will show you just the cells that is made in April. Okay, so I deselect everything and click just April. Okay. And the table shows the only cells sold in April. The good things using this auto filter is you can take out the filter really easily by clicking the filter. Okay. You can filter the data using another function, for example, like a table or pivot table, but it's really easy to, really hard to take out the filters or get out of the table. But using the data, auto filter, you can easily take out the filter from the table by clicking the filter. So it's really simple rather than using the table or the pivot table.
Just in review of what we've learned today, we learned about conditional formatting, which is knowing the difference between if your numbers are different and being able to format those cells. So if they are the same, they'll be the same color. If they're not the same, they'll turn red or a different color. We also learned about the subtotal function, which is where you can use equal subtotal and then select average, max, min, count A, all those things, and select the data that you want to be average, max, or min. And lastly, we learned about an autofilter, which is the easy way to filter your data. And thank you so much for listening. Have a good day. Mahalo.